Here's Halo Reach. There are games that just click with you. Fighters, RPGs, and racers have always been my go-to genres, no questions asked. Shooters, on the other hand, have always been something that I've kinda liked, but never truly loved. It's gotta have that extra something that demands my attention that really hooks me. Unless I'm Conan the Barbarian fighting the forces of hell, an octopus contractor, or Darth Vader just murking fools, it's very hard for me to care. All of that goes out the window when discussing Halo, or specifically Halo Reach, and Halo 3, but that's the story for another video. Halo, after all, isn't really a normal shooter. It's filled with giant space soldiers, pumped with more testosterone than a bunch of 14-year-olds at 5 p.m. on a Tuesday at Planet Fitness. Halo Reach was Bungie's final entrance into the Halo franchise, serving as a prequel to the series that arguably became the most important shooter of the 21st century. This game helped redefine what the home console shooter genre could be. It also acted as the launching pad for the Xbox console, giving Microsoft that killer app that was needed to be able to compete in the gaming market and secure a place amongst the big three. You know, Naruto and Luffy and, I'm kidding, Nintendo, Sony, and now Xbox. The cultural significance of the Halo series in the early 2000s could not be overstated. Halo 2 was the first game to have a midnight release, an event I wish I could have experienced, but I was just 6 years old at the time. My introduction to Halo came well after what most people would consider the golden years. That didn't stop me from appreciating the artistry of these games. I'm doing this to avoid copyright right now. Well, I guess this turned into more of a singy episode than I was expected. Without diving too deep into the lore, because that is a topic for another time, here's the gist of Halo's story. The series stars John 117, also known as the Master Chief, an enhanced super soldier fighting for the UNSC in the 26th century against the Covenant. The Covenant is a powerful, almost religious alien alliance hell-bent on wiping out humanity to fulfill their religious prophecy of the Great Journey. The plan involves activating the Halo Rings, galaxy-wide weapons capable of eradicating all sentient life. Master Chief, often billed as humanity's last hope, does everything in his power to stop them. With the help of his AI companion Cortana, and God damn, she looking good. Over the first 3 games, the duo's skill, determination, and sheer luck leads to the Covenant's defeat and the end of the war. So I know if you're a girl that likes Halo and you want to speak to me, ha! There's a mystique to Master Chief, strong, silent, and he allows fans to project their own personalities onto him. Chief feels like an unstoppable force, a sentient echoed both by players and the in-game characters. Allies and enemies alike speak of him in such reverence, constantly reinforcing his legendary status.
Pathetic compared to what Hashirama Senju was able to accomplish. Everyone viewed him as the ultimate shinobi.
After what seemed like a perfect conclusion to Master Chief's story, fans assumed that the Halo series had reached its end. Instead, we were treated to 3 spin-offs. First, Halo 3 ODST, an underrated side story set during the events of Halo 2 and 3. Then came Halo Wars, a strategy game that I have personally not played, but have heard many great things about from friends. Finally, we have the subject of today's video, Halo Reach, a prequel that brings a new perspective to the series. Now, discussing the campaign, it's the year 2552. Halo Reach centers on humanity's struggle on the planet Reach, one of its key strongholds. The game begins with an eerily calm before chaos unfolds. You play as Spartan Noble 6, the newest member of Noble Team, an elite squad of Spartans. Each member of Noble Team brings unique traits to the group. Carter is the leader, Kat's the brain, George the heart, Emil the animal instincts, I would say, June the eyes, and you, Noble 6, a character left intentionally blank for players to customize and project their own personality onto. The game adds to Noble 6's mystique by hinting at a shadowy past, referred to them as the hyper-lethal lone wolf, with much of their history considered redacted in black ink. One detail that stood out to me during my recent replay was that at the start of the game, there was no Covenant forces on Reach. Noble Team is initially tasked with fighting human insurgents, a revolution that caught me off guard. As a kid, I had always assumed that the Spartans were always battling the Covenant. playing as an adult, I now kind of appreciate the chilling shift in tone when the Covenant finally arrived. Hearing the fear in the voices of the characters and seeing even seasoned Spartans on edge is a stark contrast to this invincible image of Master Chief. It raises the stakes and makes the conflict feel much more real. There is a world where the Covenant are truly terrifying foes, and mowing them down isn't something to take for granted. Tension is palpable from the first mission, where Carter invokes Winter Contingency, the UNS code for a Covenant invasion. Hearing his superior grim response of,
"It's the Winter Contingency."
May God help us all.
At first though, there is hope. In Halo lore, Reach is a fortress world, humanity's greatest military stronghold. If any planet could withstand a Covenant attack, it would be Reach. That's what we call red herring. In the second mission, Noble Team is deployed to defend Sword Base. Must prevent sensitive human secrets from falling into Covenant hands. The level sees you battling Covenant forces, destroying their strongholds, and taking down a massive Covenant ship. Just when it seems like victory, an even larger theme emerges. This relentless escalation makes the stakes feel impossibly high and foreshadows the tragic fate awaiting Reach. We move on to the third mission, Nightfall, a nighttime stealth mission where Noble 6 is paired with Jun. In a nod to one of the original Halo first missions, the objective is to sneak around, rescue refugees from Covenant forces, and gather intel that can provide a strategic advantage against the enemy. When my brother and I first played this mission, we noticed that due to Halo Reach's attempt at more of a realistic camera movement during cutscenes, player who wasn't shown would unofficially be referred to as Noble 7. This became a running joke for us during our 4-player co-op campaigns. We would then have like Noble 8 and Noble 9 reporting for duty. It wasn't canon, of course, but it was just a fun way to feel more connected to the game and our character. By the mission's end, Noble Team discovers a massive Covenant invasion force preparing for an assault, prompting the UNSC to brace for a rough morning. Next is Tip of the Spear. Arguably the best mission in the game, my personal favorite. The UNSC launches a morning offensive to repel the Covenant invasion, with Noble 6 and Cat assisting in the strike force. The mission involves taking out Covenant anti-air guns, artillery stations, and command posts. What makes this mission so memorable is just the sheer variety. It feels like a showcase of everything the game has to offer, whether you're on foot, driving vehicles like Warthog, Ghost, and Wraith, or piloting the Banshees. You can actually do that. The gameplay transitions seamlessly between different styles, keeping the action dynamic and exciting. One standout moment is when you take down the Covenant station and feel a brief sense of triumph, only for it to be crushed moments later when a larger threat looms.
Grafton is dust. We need to get out of here now.
The story takes a turn as the entire Noble Team regroups, one of the few times that they're all together, to strategize against the newly arrived Covenant space station dominating the atmosphere. The team uncovers a secret military base, leading to a almost D-Day inspired assault that transitions into an homage of Star Fox. Noble 6 and George board on a Covenant cruiser, fighting their way through enemies to plant a bomb. However, the plans go awry when the bomb malfunctions. Instead of remotely detonating it, George decides to stay behind to trigger it manually, sacrificing himself while Noble 6 free falls back to the planet below. Let's take a moment to appreciate just how breathtaking the game is. Even though it's nearly 15 years old. 15 years old? Oh god. The visuals still hold up. The art direction from space to ground combat is stunning, with beautiful lighting and incredible atmospheric environments. The armor designs remain iconic, and the lighting brings a cinematic feel to every moment. Of course, it's not perfect. The facial models look like Play-Doh, and the eyes, oh boy, let's just say they don't hold up. But everything else about the presentation is a testament to the artistry that went into the game. This is when you play the Master Chief Collection. When you play the Xbox 360 version, it look like dog doo-doo. But when you play it on the Master Chief Collection, it's very, very, very gorgeous. The Covenant cruiser Noble 6 and George is destroyed, and as a result, the massive Covenant ship above it is also obliterated. For a brief moment, it feels like a significant victory, like the team has finally pushed the Covenant off of Reach. However, that hope is instantly shattered when an even more ominous Covenant fleet appears, dwarfing any previous threat. After free falling, Noble 6 crash lands onto the surface, and it becomes clear that Halo Reach isn't about saving the day, as previous Halo games often were. Instead, the theme centers on saving as many lives as possible and trying to survive against impossible odds. This shift becomes even more evident in the next mission, Exodus. It's the only mission where Noble 6 operates completely alone without a fellow team member for support. In Exodus, Noble 6 traverses a city overrun by Covenant forces desperately trying to save civilians who are being mercilessly gunned down. The Covenant have established multiple posts, turning the city into a battleground. For the first time, this super soldier fantasy gives way to vulnerability. Without a teammate to rely on, you feel more like another soldier caught in the chaos. Reaction, timing, jump, rationing ammo, and deciding where to fight and when to fight or to retreat feels more crucial. This mission forces you to confront the hopelessness of the situation, particularly during the railgun sequence where you witness civilians being slaughtered by Covenant forces and you can't do anything. Watching a ship full of refugees gunned down as it tries to take off is really heartbreaking. It's a grim reminder that in this war, there's really no escape. There's no Master Chief to swoop in and save the day. It's just you and your Spartan, and the odds insurmountable. And do you think you're really powerful enough to save the day? The next mission sees Noble Team regroup. Mourning George's death, Noble 6 joins in assisting with civilian defense and evacuating F. By nightfall, the devastation wrought by the Covenant becomes painfully evident. Buildings are burning and humanity is on the brink of collapse. This brutal escalation reaches its peak when Kat is killed as Noble Team attempts to escape. The level ends with a haunting view of the destruction, forcing you to wonder who on Noble Team might die next. Noble Team's next objective brings them back to Sword Base for a Scorched Earth demolition mission. By this point, the base is overrun with Covenant forces, and the mission feels like a desperate, hopeless battle. The somber lighting and melancholy music amplifies the atmosphere of loss and inevitability. Against overwhelming odds, Noble Team presses on and eventually reaches Dr. Halsey. Dr. Halsey is the inventor of the Spartan program and AI. In a pivotal moment, Halsey entrusts Noble 6 with transported Cortana. The AI she believes is crucial to humanity's survival and the key to winning the Human Covenant war. This scene is powerful because it feels personal. After playing through it as much as the campaign, it's as if Cortana is choosing you, the player's customized character, to protect her. This new responsibility, Noble 6, Mill, and Carter set off to deliver Cortana to the Pillar of Autumn, while June is tasked with escorting Halsey to safety. In the second to last mission, Carter is gravely wounded and ultimately sacrifices himself to ensure that Emil and Noble 6 can deliver the crucial package. However, Noble 6 and Emil can't stand and fight the overwhelming Covenant forces. They have to run. You're giving a mongoose, and this mongoose section perfectly encapsulates the idea. All they can do is flee. It's a perfect analogy because mongooses, like the Spartans in this moment, have to hide and run from the predators. Eventually, Noble 6 and Emil reach the shipyard where Emil uses the Mac cannon to hold off the Covenant forces while Noble 6 hands off Cortana to Jacob Keats. In a moment that perfectly encapsulates Emil's character, he declares, "I'm ready to die!" before making his final sacrifice in one of the coolest ways possible.
Who's next? I'm ready! How about you?
It's up to Noble 6 to stay behind, giving the Pillar of Autumn its chance to escape. Against all odds, Noble 6 succeeds in the mission, but at a heavy cost. And look, if you look over to the side, there's an Easter egg of Master Chief. Or is that Linda? Some nerd is gonna yell at me. I don't know, man. It's cool either way. But again, it's all at a price. Noble 6 has done all that he can, but the battle is far from over. The game then fast forwards 2 weeks, showing the Pillar of Autumn managed to escape Reach. As the story returns to Noble 6, it's clear that they are all alone. Reach has fallen to the Covenant in a little over a month. A planet that was once represented as humanity's greatest military stronghold has been destroyed. Now, with no clear objective, all you can do is survive. What do you think I've been trying to do? You know, life has been beating the shit out of me every day, and all I want to do is quit. But if I do, what else do I have? Oh, you guys meant the game. It's eerily quiet, and the player knows deep down there's no more to be done. At this point, the only option is to take down as many Covenant soldiers with you as you can. The imagery of your helmet being destroyed, losing your HUD elements, and the ammo counter tickling down is chilling. It's a signal that your time is running out. Each time I play this campaign, I desperately cling on. I secretly hope that there's an alternate outcome, some cutscene that changes things, but there's nothing. Eventually, you're overwhelmed. I like to believe in my headcanon that Noble Six fought for hours, holding out against impossible odds before finally succumbing to the Covenant. But even in death, your sacrifice doesn't go unnoticed. In 2589, Reach's environment begins to reform, and Dr. Halsey delivers a eulogy for Noble Team. Without their sacrifice, without your sacrifice, the Covenant would have won. A YouTuber named Nikos made an insightful point about the deaths of Noble Team. Each one is meaningful. Carter, who's your leader, goes down with the ship. Katz, who's the brain, ironically gets shot in the head. George sacrificed himself, but in vain. Emil, the knife-loving warrior, is stabbed in the back. And Jun, the quiet and reserved sniper, lives on while Noble Six, the lone wolf, dies alone. It's a beautiful, if tragic, way to end the story, and Nico sums it up perfectly in that video. And I don't know, man. That's just beautiful storytelling. You're sitting on the phone every day watching shorts and your life's passing you by. You think, oh, maybe I'll subscribe to this guy, or oh, maybe I'll subscribe to this guy. No, do it right now. Go talk to someone, go share with someone this channel, because I'm working every day to make sure you guys get new content. Just subscribe. I mean, why are you making it complicated? I don't know why I walked away. Like, I don't, like, this is a backyard. It's not like I can really go in. I can't hop a fence. Please subscribe. If you remember where that's buried and how your knees feeling. I believe a great video game needs great promotional trailers. There's like an art form to it, because with the perfect trailer, you create the hype necessary to launch a game. Halo is notorious for this, having some of the greatest trailers in the industry. Halo 2 was especially known for its hype building trailers. Does anyone remember that B trailer commercial? It had hidden Easter eggs and it got fans hunting for clues, sparking massive online discussions. It was a phenomenon. Halo 3 and ODST also have memorable trailers that I have to revisit from time to time. Halo Reach is no different. Arguably the best trailers that they made, with 3 standout trailers that help build its lore and world. The first and probably most popular is Deliver Hope, a live action trailer that showcases Noble Team fighting the Covenant sometime before the Battle of Reach. The trailer builds tension with a heart-pounding score until Kat, who's carrying a bomb, gets blown up, unable to complete the mission. Another Spartan takes her place, fighting up against a Covenant cruiser, throwing the bomb into the ship. This moment is powerful not just for the action, but for what it foreshadows. The original Noble Six, who sacrificed himself to finish the mission that another teammate failed. It's a striking parallel to your role as the new Noble Six, who stayed behind when Emil couldn't continue. The trailer captures like the sense of honor and duty that drives Noble Team, and it hints at the tension between you and the rest of your team. Nobody wanted you to replace the original Noble Six, because doing so felt like erasing his memory. This emotional weight is carried throughout the campaign.
Not gonna lie to you, Lieutenant. You're stepping into some shoes the rest of the squad would rather leave unfilled. Me, I'm just happy to have Noble back up to full strength.
The next trailer, Birth of a Spartan, isn't as iconic as Deliver Hope, but is still fascinating. It gives us a glimpse into the creation of a Spartan, showcasing the intense training and physical enhancements that transform ordinary soldiers into the superhero warriors we know. It's a cool look behind the scenes of what goes into making a Spartan, but it's more about how much of Spartan changes in such a short time. The most chilling trailer by far is the Days Before trailer. On the surface, it's a slice of life drama. You see people going about their everyday life, dealing with the small mundane problems before the Covenant invasion. What makes this trailer so powerful is the knowledge that after you play the game, the world that seemingly feels so alive and full of culture is destroyed. The people in this trailer, most of them, in fact, are likely dead within the next month. When Carter says, "It's the winter contingency," it might seem like a throwaway line at first, but upon rewatching the trailer, you realize just how significant and deadly that line really is. The trailer ends with a haunting question. Remember when there was a tomorrow? That line is chilling because by the end of the game, there is no tomorrow for the people of Reach. The Day Before trailer brilliantly conveys the inevitability of tragedy. It sets the tone of emotional gravity even before you get to play the game, amplifying the anticipation of the story. It's not just about the action, it's about the loss, the devastation, and the sacrifice, which makes the story of Halo Reach even more poignant. When we talk about Halo Reach, we can't just focus on the story. Gameplay is a huge part of what makes it stand out in the Halo series. Personally, Reach has some of my favorite gameplay out of any Halo game. Everything feels fair, fun, and fluid with fast-paced action that keeps you engaged. The core Halo gameplay, the sandbox combat where you fight in large maps with a variety of weapons, still works so well, even with the new changes that Halo Reach brought. The introduction of armor abilities in Reach was a game changer, giving players new ways to approach combat with perks like jetpacks, armor lock, drop shield, and sprint. Thank God for sprint. The addition of sprint in particular was a blessing, speeding up the gameplay and making the movements feel smoother. Everything felt fair about it. Reach also introduced new game modes that kept things fresh. Infection, where you fought against zombie-like players, was a fascinating addition. Firefight, which expanded upon the mode from ODST, and Forge, the ultimate creative playground where everything in Reach was elevated and allowed players to create their own maps in game mode. Forge really does deserve its own video, but at its core it was a place where the community could get as wild and creative as they wanted. I still remember the early days of YouTube game night with Halo and how Reach really took off in terms of custom content. The flexibility of the game mode is a goldmine for fan created content, and that's one of the reasons why Reach is still regarded as the gold standard for Halo gameplay. Speaking of fan creations, Halo has always been a fan friendly franchise, with Red vs. Blue leading the charge in terms of fan driven content. Also known as Machinima, Halo Reach took the next level, especially with the idea of multiple Spartan teams, including the legendary Noble team. This concept allowed players to create unique stories which felt like they could fit in the Halo universe even if they technically weren't canon. You've probably heard of Noble Team and Master Chief, but have you heard of the duo squad of the Headhunters, or the multiple part series Rise of Spartans, which was mind-blowing back in the day? It may not hold up to modern standards, but as a kid growing up with it, it was a fascinating story. And of course, we can't ignore the impact of fan series like Lost Wolves, Dawn Under Heaven, and Remember, my personal favorite. Remember is a prime example of how far fan creations can go in terms of storytelling, using every tool available like Blender to create gripping, emotional, and hopeful narratives. It's not something you'd expect from Halo Reach, but it's brilliant and it's worth experiencing for yourself. These fan-made stories let players explore and reimagine parts of Reach, including the death of Noble 6. Good God, the amount of fan-created content exploring what would happen if Noble 6 didn't die is insane. Y'all don't know how many times I've watched that. Y'all don't remember how many fan videos I watched from the early 2010s where it played this freaking song. What's truly fascinating is the sheer dedication of the Halo fanbase. The fact that people learn complex programs like Blender, something that is fucking hard to learn, just to bring their stories to life is a testament to how much Halo Reach impacted them. The bittersweet ending of the campaign sparked so many creative interpretations, proving that Reach wasn't just a game, it was a catalyst for an entire creative movement, and that to me is what makes it truly special. God, that's nerdy. So if you've kept up with the flows of my past videos, you would think that this is the point where I would say something mushy about Halo and why it matters to me. And to be honest, it's not that deep. It's not some deep life-altering reflection. I just really want an excuse to talk about one of my favorite games. If I had to sum up why Halo Reach resonates with me so much, it's simple. It's about getting to go back every few years, reliving the campaign with my friends, now on the Master Chief Collection PC, at the highest settings, arguably the best Halo soundtrack, I'm sorry ODST, and experiencing that journey again. Every time I play it, it still hits the same. That emotional connection is still there, even as an adult, just like it was when I first played it as a kid. There's a certain comfort to knowing that no matter where I am in life, I can always return to this game and it's still a great time. It's that nostalgia, yes, but also the fact to me that this game is just timeless. So if nothing else, Halo Reach will always be a part of me, and I'll always have a place to return to when I need to. And guys, that's another video essay. I just want to say I appreciate you guys so much, as always, for watching these videos. Y'all have no idea what that means to me. I mean, last week, y'all almost made me cry because I finally feel like my videos are getting viewed, because it's my most viewed video ever. At this time of recording, I believe it's at 12,000 views. And And you know, you make these videos as mainly for yourself because it's your passion, but there is something, I guess, beautiful about seeing that these videos are resonating with y'all, and y'all don't know how much that means to me. So anyway, so I just want to say thank you guys so much for watching. As always, a like and subscribe helps so much. Please comment what you guys want to watch next. I would love to do one of the videos that you guys suggest. But for now, gents, lady gents, and non-binary gents, I'll see you guys around.